Lu Jianxing guides a tour group through the prison where he spent years of his life. Today, it's a human rights museum, a memorial to victims of Taiwan's White Terror era of authoritarian rule. But in Lu's time here, it was just one of many places holding perceived dissidents. Before his arrest in the 1960s, Lu was an idealistic young man. Taiwan had been under strict martial law since just after World War II, and there were no signs of change. But students like him were determined to make Taiwan a better place all the same. They bristled when an American exchange student wrote a newspaper piece calling Taiwanese society selfish and cold. And they responded by forming a community service society to prove how civic-minded Taiwan's people could be. They were tolerated at first. The China Youth Corps, then a paramilitary group with ties to the Kuomintang government, even gave them support. But in time, Lu and his friends got tired of the Youth Corps' control. So they broke away and founded their own unsanctioned group, something historians of the period say was a dangerous move.
解放军的战争跟国军之间的战争，当然是绝对是第一条战线。那当时国共内战期间，还有第二条战线是学生运动。那个学生运动，国民党是节节败退。那所以国民党来到这边，他会汲取教训，就是学生我一定要掌握住。
Lu's group only had a few dozen members, but that was enough to spark paranoia in official circles. A police report from 1969 claims the group was preparing to overthrow the government and had overseas connections. About a month after this report, police fanned out in the dead of night to arrest whichever members they could find.
一个半暝啊，一群人，10几个壮汉啊，去个人厝里弄门，我已经在困了，结果给我叫起来，叫我衫穿穿的，戴上手铐，出来3部吉普车在那里，带上吉普车，伫台南哦。 往高雄直奔，然后到高雄有一栋民宅，我入去了就看，1楼入去一个规排拢我的同学。
Lu would eventually be sentenced to life in prison for his group's activities. Behind bars, he was regularly tortured. Still, when news of his life sentence came out, the whole cell block cheered, because there were worse fates. One of Lu's comrades was, by order of the president himself, to be executed, a fate he only escaped after developing severe mental illness in prison. In 1975, the story of Lu and his comrades takes a turn. Chiang Kai-shek, who ruled Taiwan during the White Terror and most of martial law, died. Life sentences were commuted, in Lu's case to 15 years. He walked free in February of 1982, and later became well known as a writer under the pen name Lu Yu. A few years after Lu's release, Taiwan began to transform. 43 years of martial law ended in 1987. In time, free multi-party elections began and led to an eventual reckoning with the dark corners of Taiwan's past. Lu is one of at least 20,000 people who were persecuted under the White Terror. Not all survived to tell their story. Now, there's a move to create a national memorial day for these victims on May 19th. It's something former President Tsai Ing-wen said she would ask the government to look into before she left office.
5.19白色恐怖记忆日的倡议，不只是记忆或者是缅怀，也是让我们的下一代铭记威权统治的这段历史，也提醒我们要将民主前辈的奋斗精神继续传承下去。
With the political will to make it happen, Taiwan could soon have a new date in its calendar of memorials to this traumatic period of its past, the scars of which its survivors still carry. Luffy Li and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.